Hello again, and welcome to Elementary. Today, we're starting our show a little later. And I want to welcome my guest. Hey there.
Hello.
I made it. Thank you
Hey.
again for joining us today. My goodness, it's a crazy day for both
My
you and me.
pleasure.
I can hear you.
Sorry, I'm in my car.
Yes, you're off
Can you hear me
on
now?
wheels. So I guess we'll get
Yes.
started. Thank you again. So excited that all these people are joining us. So introduce yourself and your Instagram handle.
Yes. So my name is Crystal, and I own Mod Interiors. So we are a local interior design and staging company. Most of our work is staging, but we do take on a few design clients here and there when we're not super busy. But yeah, that's us, Mod Interiors, and I am the owner, and I think we have about 15
Wow,
employees now. So yeah, so it's growing
very
every day.
nice. So, um, where are you located? I know you said you're local. You're local to, I think it's Whitby, right? Or
Yes. So our warehouse, we just
okay,
moved. We're in Oshawa. So we have a warehouse in Oshawa. And so yeah, we service the GTA kind of all over. Doing a lot sort of out of the GTA as of late too, but primarily we like to try to stay in Durham.
perfect. So, for those of you watching, if you have any questions, there's a little question icon. Drop it in there. Feel free to ask any questions. If we don't get to you today, we will get to you. But either way, we're watching. We'll pay attention to the questions you have. So tell us, how do you assess a property? Its layout and design to determine like staging needs.
Yeah, so we always start off with a consultation, and I always do my consultations in-house. So hoping that the agent and the buyer be present so we can kind of walk through it. But staging is it's more than just like adding fluff and pillows. Like when I go into a space, it's really about space planning. I feel like that's number one with staging. So knowing how to use the space. So I always think of that when I'm in there, making sure that we're maximizing seating, but not making it look too stuffed. Showing that we can have 8 people eat at a table, but not still making it feel very airy and light. So I think space planning for me, I mean, I am an interior designer, so I did that for about 15 years before I was doing staging. So I think I have, just being in the field for so long, like it's pretty second nature to me. Like I'm able to kind of walk into a house and see, how it should be laid out, which is great. So we always start with space planning. And then, making sure that all of the pieces that we pick, that we bring in the house suit the house. So if we see a traditional house, I'm not going to bring in, uber modern pieces. So we let the house lead. So if it's a traditional house, we'll bring in more of traditional pieces. And then we think about space planning and then sort of the rest of the sort of fluff,
So I
we
do
call
see
it.
the stuff you post, and I haven't had the pleasure of working with you yet, but it's very beautiful. And yeah, it's very beautiful. And you
Thank you.
guys seem to have a lot of fun. You guys seem to have a lot of fun.
We try.
It
Honestly,
is.
it's such a hard job. Like like we're moving, especially in hot days like today. I mean, I'm not complaining. I take the heat over the cold any day, but we don't have movers. Like my team, we move it in and we move it out. We move in sofas, dining tables, everything. So, and we try to keep it light. Majority of the people who work with me know me on a personal level from sort of my life before. So I have been able to sort of, I have a team of people who I love and adore, and we can keep it really light. We try to keep it light. Everyone on my team is hilarious and fun, and they try to keep it as fun as possible, because if not, the day's going
Wow.
to go
And
by
you spend a
really
lot of your
slowly.
time at work, right? Like they say, if you can't have fun at work, where else can you have fun, right? So how do you incorporate,
Exactly.
current design trends into your staging process?
Hmm. Um, I am like a big design lover, so I am constantly on Instagram, going through magazines. I'm always looking for inspiration. I get bored really easy. I get sick of things really easy. I get sick of looks easily. I'm always looking for the next, not trend, but something that I know is going to be coming that is going to be aspirational for people, but I'm really always looking for the next big thing. So that is something that I work on all the time. Like my weekends, I'll go downtown and, go
Yeah.
into vintage shops or stores, CB2. Like I really try to keep myself up to date on what is in the
So
market.
what role does lighting play? I know.
Oh, lighting is everything.
Yeah,
Lighting is
it's
everything. We want spaces to feel light and bright. So, always lots of lamps, always keeping the light bulbs the same. We like a daylight bulb, making sure all the bulbs are the same. And even if we're not bringing in lights, like making sure that, the light bulbs that you do have, they all match, they're all the same color. It's going to really
yeah, that
elevate
makes
your
such a
home.
big difference. I see people, it's I look at it as the cheapest thing to do, even if it's just a homeowner, right?
Mhm.
And then they think you're being picky when you say, hey, your lights, giving out different. Some of them are like some homes that you walk into, the lighting is so dim. It's really, really, it really doesn't show, right?
Oh yeah, and there's so many cost-effective, beautiful light options out there. Like Canadian Tire is my favorite place to get lighting. I get the Preston light, the chandelier. Like and they have sales. The sales come out every Thursday. So I feel like, when we do ask clients to change out lights, I don't want to break the bank. I want cheap and cheerful, as I like to say. Home Depot. We put together a lighting actually list that we've sent to all of our agents, just so that if they are in the house, or if I'm not around to answer questions, but we've done 2 sort of lighting sheets, and I'm happy to share with any clients if they want to message me, and I can share that with you. But we have a brass, a black, and a chrome, and I really pick from those ones that are there. So we try to keep it simple, but updating
Wow,
your lights for
that's
sure.
actually quite handy that you have that. That's awesome. Yeah.
Yeah.
So how do you approach, staging different rooms? Like, what's your like style? I mean, I know you're a designer, so it probably is a little um, easier for you to go in and just kind of, but how do you approach like different rooms and how you're going to style them and keep them cohesive?
Well, yeah, so I think we always let the house lead. So when I do all of the consultations, and I pull the list and I'll kind of pull the look. So I'll tell my team, okay, it's a traditional house or it's a warm modern. That's kind of um, the look that I've sort of tapped into, is this warm modern look. So modern, so black and white, but
Hmm.
bringing in a lot of woods and warmth. I feel like that is a look that everyone really likes right now, and it's not too modern. Like we try to a soft modern. So that is something that we try to do, but it doesn't work in every house. So I let the house lead. So if it's a traditional house, we will pick one metal. So say it's a traditional house and I'll say chrome. So we'll make sure that all the little legs and the lights and everything, like we don't want to bring in too many different finishes. So we make sure that those, it's very tailored to the home.
Perfect. So how do you then balance, depersonalizing and a home and also staging? Like, how do you, and still creating that warmth and inviting atmosphere?
Yeah, it really depends on the house, right? But majority of the time, we do ask clients to take down all of their personal items, anything with name association on it. So awards, diplomas, that sort of thing. We always want to depersonalize. And, I just approach it with my clients like there's colors and furniture and art for living, and then there's furniture and color and art for for selling. And when I sold my house 2 years ago, my house was black and white. I had black walls. I had to paint all of those white, just to create, we want to appeal to the masses. So, just really keeping that in mind.
I know that's the hard part, right? Because when you walk in, I mean, that's why I like to have the staging consult, because not that I don't like doing all of the, but it just makes it so much easier when you bring in a professional and they say, hey, like maybe some of this has got to go, maybe some of this needs to be packed up, right? It just comes from a different person, and it makes it a little more palatable, because sometimes they get a little offended if you say, oh, you need to like declutter, and they look at clutter as in clutter, but
yeah, no, I really try to come at it like I try to be as gentle as possible, just because I don't ever want to offend anybody. And again, and I always kind of say to them, we're taking down this stuff because everything I bring in is going to coordinate together. So I kind of try to take that angle as well. But you know what? I've gone to so many houses lately where they're so beautiful, and we don't need to do much, right? So sorry, my messages are going off. So it really depends on the house. Some houses I go in and I'm like, you guys we need to remove everything and bring in everything new. And some houses, they just need a little bit. I find that a lot of the houses I'm going into lately, they have the furniture. So they'll have like the sofa and the chair and the dining table, but they just don't know how to bring it together. So it's really the art and the accessories and all of the smaller stuff that really pulls it all together.
Absolutely. So what about like virtual staging? What are your thoughts on that? Do you do any of that, or what are your thoughts on that piece? Yeah.
On virtual staging? I have done it in the past. I think I did a job or two when COVID was here. Virtual staging, I mean, I think it's great and it works in certain circumstances, but at the end of the day, like, I think virtual staging is going to get people in the house, but it's not going to sell the house. I think, my philosophy is we want the photos to look a 10 out of 10 out of a magazine so that you get the most amount of traffic. And essentially, when we're in the house, we're going to wow them with the staging. But I feel like, with virtual staging, again, it goes back to the space planning. I think people really need to see how spaces are used in order to feel
you've said it well. I myself, like, I feel sometimes you're showing a few homes when you're lucky enough to show a few homes on the same day. You're showing a few homes together, and people walking through the house at the end of the day have to remember that house, right? And I feel when there's no furniture, some people just can see beyond, right? They can't see, they're like, oh my God, this space is so small, I can't see anything fitting. So I think it's so imperative to have staging. And I feel like for me personally, it's my brand, and I do my best to encourage staging and get people to stage, because I want it to look the best, right? I want people to feel like, hey, this is a space for me. This is where I can live. So what additional services, I know you mentioned some interior design work. Do you do organizing or destaging or decluttering? No, just, okay.
No, I have an organizer. I actually have two that I can recommend if people need that. So I work with other professionals. I don't get into the moving or decluttering or anything like that. I will provide resources for that. But we shine just with staging, coming in and doing our thing.
I mean, your work is really nice. Thank you. So what else can I ask you? Can you provide us a little bit of a breakdown of your process? Like, once you come in and you do the, what can someone expect, right, from beginning to end, once you come in and do?
Yeah. So I come in, I do the consultation. I'm usually pretty quick. So we'll go through the house, and at that time, usually what I like to do is get a lay of the land before I make any comment. So just kind of seeing the entire house from basement to outside, everything. And then once I see it, I can usually have a good idea of what we need to do. So then I'll go through I'll go walk through with the client. Okay, we're going to remove this. We're going to do this. We're going to do that. And then I will follow up with an email within 3 to 4 days. Depends on, how busy we are. But I'll send an email kind of highlighting everything that we talked about. And we'll send that, we call that the staging prep report. We will send that off to the client so they have everything. I usually copy the agent on it too, so that they know what the checklist is and everything is there. And then from my end, I go and I do my thing. So I put a list together, I put the look together, I pick the metals, I pick the art, I pick all the accessories. I'm even though I don't necessarily go to the stages, but I do everything.
So you selected everyone puts.
So whenever you see a stage, yes, like I picked the art, the accessories, the furniture, and then the team will beautifully execute it.
Perfect. I mean, it can be everywhere. It can't be everywhere. Yeah.
No.
So, so how do you handle, some budgetary constraints while delivering, top quality? I mean,
yeah. So, and that comes up a lot. Crystal, I only have X amount for this stage. So at that time, we'll just talk through, okay, well, what, this is what I can do for this amount, right? So I have a really good relationship with most of my agents. So usually we have that discussion ahead of time so that, I'm not telling them to do something in the consult that, we can't facilitate. So it's really just working closely with the agent, knowing what their expectations are, because 99% of the time the agents are paying for the staging, not the clients. So, if the agent's telling me a certain number, then that's what I do, and we do the best that we can. But that doesn't really happen very often, to be honest. Like I usually go through the house, then we'll send the quote. All of the agents that I'm blessed to have, they're usually pretty good with, our pricing.
Well, you know what? It is I would say most of the time it is the agents paying. As you said, 99%. I mean, I myself pay for my staging, even though sometimes, they make a big song and dance about it. I will pay, so that way they don't have an excuse to not stage the house, right? I mean, you wanted to show it in the best light. So, and so let me ask you this question: like the products, are they all your products, or are they like rented, or so you have your own warehouse, you have your own products, you have your own team? Very nice.
Yep.
Very nice.
Yes. No. Yeah. We.
Very nice.
Yeah. I own everything.
So before we wrap up, I wanted to ask you: have I missed anything? Anything else you want to share about your company?
No. I mean, I think that anyone who's worked with us knows how awesome my team is. And, we really value making sure, number one, the client's happy and the homeowner's happy. That's what, we pride ourselves on. So, no, I don't think that there's anything else. I mean, we're just, we're operating a lot of volume this month. I think this has been my busiest month to date. I think we're going to do 55 stages this month. So just really, really busy. And yeah, it's hard to dictate from an inventory and staffing perspective, day to day, week to week, month to month, but we're managing to, to get through.
Someone's asking, what do you recommend clients and agents do to prepare for a staging consult?
I like to see the house the way it is. I think knowing what I would love to have clients do more often, honestly, is thinking about the stuff that they have in the house and if they're bringing it with them to the new house. So a lot of the times I'll go into the house and I'm like, is everything coming? Like, are you guys taking everything? And it's like, they're not sure. And I get that. So maybe just, thinking through, and maybe if you haven't bought yet, you don't know what you're taking, but if there's anything that you don't want, or you're dying to get rid of. I think just, letting your stager know that, like, okay, we plan on selling this and getting rid of this. Because that's usually a lot of the discussion I have is, okay, you guys don't like this table. I can bring in a new one. And they're sort of undecided. So I think just, knowing what you have and knowing what you don't want to keep and getting rid of anything that you're not bringing with you, right? You don't want to bring stuff from your current house to your old house. So, just editing and getting rid of
Yeah,
anything you
that's
don't need.
a key. That's key, really. I mean, a lot of times, it's not always practical when we ask people to move their stuff out. Although sometimes I would suggest it only because, the staging stuff looks so much nicer.
And I have a mover
Hmm.
that I work with really closely. So
Hmm.
I'm not
Hmm.
insured to move clients' items out of their home, but I work really closely with a mover and his team. So we do that all the time. I'll coordinate him to come and remove the stuff like the day or the morning of the stage, and they put it in the garage so that we have a
Yeah,
clean
that's
slate
good.
going into.
Very good. Because I don't really like to take on the moving piece either, unless it's a professional third party, because I don't want to be liable, right?
Yeah, exactly. Like if something happens with my staging furniture, I'm okay with it. But if something happens to theirs, I don't like, especially valuables and stuff. We leave it to the
Yep,
professionals.
absolutely. So where can people find you?
Yeah, Mod
Mod
Interiors
Interiors.
is my
And do you
Instagram
have
handle. That's where we usually live. I don't post a lot on Facebook. I don't know why. Just Instagram is usually where a lot of my business is. We've been trying to get onto TikTok, but that's a whole other beast that we're
I think
trying to
TikTok
tackle right
is
now.
big in the US for like US people. I think in Canada, I did have a TikTok account. Like me personally, I've got some issues with TikTok. So I just kind of, let it go because I don't think it's as big out here. Um, but definitely.
Well, not according to my
Well,
9 and
yes,
12-year-old
yes, for
sons.
them, yes,
TikTok's life.
absolutely.
But I
Yeah.
don't know exactly. I'm not on TikTok. I never go on it. I don't know what kind of content's on there. I really don't. Like I said, I live on Instagram. That's where
Perfect.
my people are.
So they can reach out to you on Instagram. And I mean, you're pretty good at responding, so thank you for that. I want to thank you
Yeah,
for coming
you're welcome.
on and spending a little time with us. I know it was a crazy day for you. It was a crazy day for me. I'm in the middle of
It
doing
was.
an offer, so I've got my fingers crossed. I feel distracted today, so sorry about that. But I want to thank
Mm.
all of you for joining in, jumping on, and joining us today. Um, Realtors, if you're watching, and you're going to put something on the market, give her a call. She works Durham region, so give her a call. And for all of you watching, my name is Jacqueline Watson. I'm a realtor with Sutton Group Tower in Toronto. So thank you again, and until next time, take care.
Thank you, Chuck. Okay, thank you so
Yeah,
much. Thank
thank
you for the
you.
opportunity.
Bye-bye. Bye.
Thank you. Bye.